And every time he heard you, I heard you. It's your soul that I cry on, and I'll be damned if I work.
Now let's get to some of this new music. You worked extremely hard on this new project, stating that, this quote, you equated this to the period when you were recording Eminem show and 8 Mile soundtrack, that this is the hardest you've worked on your music in your career. What motivated you to push yourself so hard at this particular juncture of your career?
I don't know. I think that one of the things that going into this project, I kind of had a direction. A lot of times when I'm making an album, I just record until about midway through the album. I try to figure out where it's going and get a direction for it. And I think that I may have had a direction a little earlier, got to jump on an idea and a direction for it to go a little earlier than some of the other ones. And I think that by knowing that I wanted to call it this, I wanted to make sure that I had the right songs.
Okay.
So otherwise I don't think it would have made sense. So I just recorded a lot of songs. So
that's a lot. 100, 200?
I don't know. What's infinite?
That many?
What's infinity?
Okay.
No pun intended.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, a lot of songs. So, and then was kind of, you know, trying to pick the best out of the bunch, which is typically what I do with every album, but a lot more songs. I record, I think, a lot less songs. Most of the songs that I record end up on the album, and this one was just like, nah, it's not it. I want to try something different. This is cool, this one might be cool, but these two, nah, I want to try something different and just make sure, you know, just make it make sense.
Right. So was there, in your mind, was there a specific goal for this album, and do you think you reached that goal with Marshall Mathers LP2?
I hope I did. I feel like, you know, I did the best I could, and if obviously if I didn't feel like it was ready, I wouldn't put it out. So, you know, but I hope so, man. Let's see.
You stated this album is not a continuation of the first one, more like a revisitation.
I feel like I'm being interrogated right now.
Welcome
you
to
stated.
You stated it's more like a revisitation of the first one. What inspired you to revisit those, thoughts, those feelings from the first album now, rather than just go off in a whole new direction? Why did you decide to go revisit the first Marshall Mathers LP? Well,
I think that by doing, when I did the Bad Meets Evil project with Royce the EP a couple of years ago, when we did that, it kind of inspired me to want to have fun with rap again, and not to say that I don't always have fun with it.
Right.
But it kind of made me, the thing with a lot of the back and forth things that me and Royce were doing, and it was just fun to be in this, to just do that again.
Right.
And record like that, and topics and subjects and things, you know, it was fun to mess around with, because when we did that, we didn't have anything like a stencil where we're creating an album. It was an EP, and it was and it was really only going to be a couple of songs. But the more we started doing them, the faster we started doing them, and then it, you know, it just ended up becoming that.
Right.
But we didn't have we weren't within the confines of having to make an album and round it out and do, you know what I'm saying, like do certain things that you have to do normally for an album. So it was fun to do that. So I kind of wanted to just, at this point, man, I just wanted to go back in and have fun with a record, you know, and when I started writing, the more I started writing for the record, the more it started, vocal tone, everything started kind of going that way, just the way I was writing and the way I was feeling. So once it started going that way, then I felt like, okay, now I got a direction. It might be kind of cool to try to revisit this subject or that subject too. And, you know, there was a couple of chapters that I felt like I wanted to close, and, you know.
You closed a couple of them.
I think I did, yeah.
You definitely did. Did it steal any of the fun from you when the album got leaked and, you know, people started making comments and criticisms and it's not even out yet, and now here's your album before it's supposed to have been received?
It didn't, did it
still, like, because you had fun making the project and you wanted to revisit the fun part of it, and now, you know, did it take any of the fun away that it got delivered earlier than it should have been, so to speak?
Nah, not really. I mean, it's cool that to me, just as long as people hear it,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? And I don't know, the rest, it just is what it is. But you make something so that you just want to get it heard. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it is what it is. I'm glad people are listening. So
Right.
could be a lot worse.
They could be like, ah!
So